What's Christmas without the foods that make the day feel truly magical? From rich roasts to sweet puddings, these dishes have shaped holiday traditions for generations. Some remain classics, while others spark memories of festive feasts gone by. From ham to pudding to turkey, this is 15 iconic Christmas foods only true Brits will remember. There's something about the sight of a glistening ham at Christmas that feels wonderfully old-fashioned yet comforting. While turkey usually steals the spotlight these days, the gammon joint has long been a festive favourite in British homes. Slow cooked, then glazed with honey, mustard, or even cloves and brown sugar, it becomes a centrepiece in its own right. Families would often prepare it on Christmas Eve, so by morning, the smell filled the kitchen with anticipation. For many, it wasn't just about the roast dinner, but the cold cuts that came after. Thick slices of ham with chutney or pickles on Boxing Day sandwiches are as much a tradition as the feast itself. It's a dish that carries the cosy charm of generations past when nothing went to waste and every leftover found its way into hearty meals. Even today, that glossy, caramelised joint of gammon remains one of the true tastes of a proper British Christmas. Every Christmas plate has its heroes, and parsnips quietly claim their place among them. Often overshadowed by potatoes or stuffing, they still manage to shine once roasted to golden perfection. Their natural sweetness is brought to life when coated in honey or maple syrup, caramelizing in the oven until they're soft inside with crisp, sticky edges. For many families, it's that sweet contrast to the savoury meats that makes parsnips feel essential at Christmas. They're one of those vegetables you might not eat much of during the rest of the year, yet come December, they take pride of place. Some people swear by glazing them with a touch of mustard or thyme, giving them a little extra festive kick. Whether piled next to turkey, gammon or goose, they're a reminder of how humble ingredients can bring so much comfort. Parsnips may not get the glory, but without them, the Christmas roast simply wouldn't feel complete. Christmas in Britain wouldn't be the same without the cheese board, and no cheese speaks of the season, quite like Stilton. Its rich, crumbly texture and distinctive blue veins divide opinion, but for those who love it, it's a festive indulgence they look forward to all year. Traditionally paired with a glass of port, Stilton has been part of Christmas tables since the 18th century. There's something deeply nostalgic about cutting into a wheel or wedge after the main meal, spreading it thick on crackers and savouring its punchy flavour. It isn't just cheese, it's part of the rhythm of the holidays. While children might dive into selection boxes, the grown-ups gather round with cheese and wine, swapping stories deep into the evening. Stilton carries with it a sense of ritual, the kind that turns food into memory. In many homes, it's the final taste of Christmas Day and one of the most enduring festive traditions. Ask any Brit what makes or breaks a Christmas dinner, and chances are roast potatoes will be the answer. They may be simple, but when cooked right, they become the highlight of the feast. Golden, crunchy on the outside, and soft and fluffy inside, they're the perfect partner for gravy and roasted meats. Many families swear by cooking them in goose fat or beef dripping to get that unbeatable crispness, a method passed down through generations. Some even argue over which potato variety makes the best roast, a debate that never quite ends. At Christmas, though, it isn't just about technique. It's about that moment when the tray comes out of the oven and everyone's eyes light up, waiting for the first crunch. Pile them high next to sprouts and stuffing, and suddenly the meal feels complete. Roast potatoes are proof that the simplest foods, made with care, can be the most beloved part of Christmas. For anyone who grew up in Britain, the Yule Log is more than just a dessert. It's a slice of Christmas nostalgia. A chocolate sponge cake rolled with cream and covered in thick chocolate icing, it's decorated to look like a festive log. In the 70s and 80s, it became a household favourite, often brought out as an alternative to the heavier Christmas pudding. Children especially loved it, with its sweet chocolatey richness standing out against the more traditional flavours on the table. The origins go back to the old practice of burning a real Yule log on the fire to welcome in the festive season, but the cake version captured imaginations in a sweeter way. Supermarkets and home bakers alike made it part of their holiday spread. Even today, while other desserts have come and gone, the sight of a Yule log on the table brings back memories of childhood Christmases filled with simple joys. No dessert says British Christmas quite like a trifle, with its colourful layers and old-school charm. It's the kind of pudding that feels more like an event than a dish, each spoonful revealing sponge, custard, fruit, jelly, cream, and maybe even a splash of sherry if it's the grown-ups version. Every family seems to have their own twist, passed down from grandparents or improvised in the kitchen on Christmas Eve. Part of the magic lies in its appearance, bright and cheerful, in a glass bowl that takes pride of place on the table. While other desserts can feel heavy after the main feast, trifle is light, fruity, and refreshing, offering a welcome contrast to mince pies and puddings. For many, it's the taste of childhood Christmases, the wobble of jelly, the sweet custard, and the whipped cream piled high. Trifle has stood the test of time because it captures both indulgence and comfort in one bowl. If there's one thing that sums up British patience and tradition at Christmas, it's the making of a Christmas cake. Often baked weeks in advance, fed with brandy, and lovingly covered in marzipan and thick royal icing, it's more than just a dessert. It's a labour of love. Families decorate theirs in different ways, from simple snowy white icing to miniature festive scenes with little robins or plastic fir trees. The rich fruitcake base, packed with currants, sultanas, cherries and spices, is dense and filling, best enjoyed in thin slices with a cup of tea. For many households, cutting into the Christmas cake is a ceremony in itself, sometimes saved until Boxing Day. It's one of those traditions that makes the season feel whole, even if not everyone admits to liking fruitcake. Still, its place on the table is unquestionable, carrying with it the charm of British Christmases stretching back through the generations. There's a certain joy that comes with biting into a warm mince pie during December. Golden pastry, filled with rich mincemeat spiced with cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves, often with a little brandy mixed in for good measure. They're the true flavour of the season. Mince pies are everywhere in Britain at Christmas time, from supermarket multi-packs to homemade batches cooling on kitchen counters. They're the kind of treat that bridges generations, enjoyed by grandparents with a glass of sherry, or by children dusted in icing sugar as a quick snack. Traditionally, it was said that eating 12 mince pies over the festive season would bring good luck for each month of the coming year. Whether or not you believe that, they remain an essential part of the holidays. Served warm with cream, custard, or even on their own, mince pies capture the essence of British Christmas in every spiced, fruity bite. Few foods are as deeply tied to the British Christmas tradition as the Christmas pudding. Dense, dark and rich with dried fruits, spices, and a good splash of alcohol, it's a dish steeped in history. Steamed for hours and then proudly brought to the table, it's the grand finale of the Christmas meal. The true spectacle comes when it's doused in brandy and set alight, flickering blue flames, making it feel like theatre as much as dessert. Some families even hide coins or charms inside, a custom meant to bring luck for the year ahead. Served with brandy butter, cream or custard, the pudding is undeniably heavy, but undeniably festive. It's one of those dishes that you might not eat any other time of year, which makes it all the more special. Love it or not, the Christmas pudding is an icon of the season, carrying centuries of British tradition to every table. Among the richness of meats and roasts, cranberry sauce is the bright note that cuts through everything else on the Christmas plate. Tart yet sweet, it balances out turkey and gammon beautifully, adding a freshness that makes the meal feel complete. While shop-bought jars are common, many families pride themselves on making their own, simmering cranberries with sugar, orange zest, or even a splash of port for extra depth. It's one of those small details that people might not think about until it's missing, but without it, the roast simply isn't the same. The sauce has American roots but quickly found its home in British kitchens, where it became a staple of the festive spread. Whether spooned generously onto meat or dabbed onto leftover sandwiches the next day, cranberry sauce is proof that even the simplest accompaniments can become timeless. It might sit quietly on the side, but its impact is unforgettable. It might sound unusual to anyone outside Britain, but bread sauce is one of the most beloved festive accompaniments. Made with milk, onions, cloves, and a good helping of breadcrumbs, it's creamy, comforting, and carries a flavour that feels like home. Traditionally served with roast poultry, it softens the richness of the meat and brings a gentle spice that whispers of Christmas past. It's one of those dishes that speaks of frugality turned into luxury, a reminder of how cooks once made do with simple ingredients. Many families guard their bread sauce recipes, each adding little touches like nutmeg, bay leaves, or extra cream. For some, it's not Christmas dinner without it, sitting proudly beside cranberry sauce and gravy on the table. While it may puzzle those unfamiliar with it, to the British, it's a tradition that ties generations together. A dollop of bread sauce can take you right back to the heart of a family Christmas. Few Christmas foods divide opinion like Brussels sprouts. For some, they're the highlight of the roast, while for others, they're the vegetable to push around the plate. Still, it wouldn't feel like Christmas dinner without them. Boiled and soggy sprouts may have given them a bad reputation in years gone by, but modern cooks have transformed them, roasting them until caramelized, tossing them with chestnuts, or even adding a sprinkle of bacon for extra flavor. Beyond taste, sprouts carry a sense of nostalgia. They're the vegetable everyone remembers being told to finish before pudding, the symbol of festive dinnertime battles. Yet as the years go by, most of us grow fond of them, seeing them less as a chore and more as a seasonal treat. They're proof that Christmas food isn't just about indulgence, it's about tradition, memory, and even a bit of humour. Love them or hate them, sprouts are here to stay. When it comes to Christmas dinner favourites, pigs in blankets often steal the show despite their size. Small sausages wrapped in streaky bacon, they're a simple idea that has become an essential part of the festive roast. Crispy on the outside and juicy inside, they add a savoury richness that pairs perfectly with turkey and potatoes. For many, they're the first thing to disappear from the tray, prompting playful arguments over who managed to grab the last one. While they appear at other times of the year, their association with Christmas is undeniable. They bring a sense of fun to the dinner table, a little indulgence that everyone looks forward to. Some families even make them larger, turning them into a side dish of their own. However they're served, pigs in blankets embody the joy of festive food, unpretentious, comforting, and guaranteed to bring a smile. They may be small, but their place in Christmas tradition is huge. Before the rise of turkey, roast goose was the grand centrepiece of British Christmas feasts. For centuries, it was the bird of choice, especially during Victorian times, celebrated in literature and song as the hallmark of the season. Richer and more flavourful than turkey, goose has a depth that feels decadent and old-worldly. Families would gather around as it roasted, the kitchen filled with its distinctive aroma, while the fat was saved for the most glorious roast potatoes imaginable. Although goose has become less common today, it still carries with it a sense of nostalgia and heritage. Choosing goose for Christmas feels like stepping back in time, embracing traditions that connected generations before us. For some households, it remains the bird of choice, prized for its flavour and history. Even if it no longer holds the crown, roast goose is forever entwined with the story of Christmas in Britain, a reminder of where many of our festive customs began. At the heart of almost every modern British Christmas dinner stands the roast turkey. Its arrival on the table marks the true climax of the festive meal, golden-skinned and stuffed with sage and onion, or chestnut stuffing. Though turkey only rose to dominance in the 20th century, it has become the bird most associated with Christmas, taking over from goose and other roasts. Part of its charm lies in its sheer scale, perfect for feeding large gatherings of family and friends. The carving of the turkey often feels like a ceremony, a moment when conversation pauses and all eyes turn to the head of the table. Served with gravy, potatoes, vegetables, and trimmings, it's a dish that ties the whole feast together. Beyond taste, turkey embodies the spirit of plenty, generosity, and celebration. Whether enjoyed hot on the day or cold in sandwiches the next, roast turkey with stuffing is the undisputed king of Christmas dinner. And that wraps up our festive feast of the Christmas foods that made the season truly British. If these classics brought back memories of family dinners and holiday traditions, don't forget to give the video a like and subscribe for more nostalgia-filled journeys. See you next time.